Watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, we are going to step away from our normal observations today to enter into another multiverse altogether. We are now going to be stepping into the brutal world of Invincible from Image Comics. For those of you who haven't seen the recent Amazon adaptation of the Invincible comics starring J.K. Simmons and Steven Yeun as Omni-Man and Invincible respectively, here's a little info on Omni-Man himself. But we are warning you now that there will be spoilers for things that both happen in the show and may happen in the future, so if you don't want anything ruined, you know what to do. So watchers, let's observe. Omni-Man, or Nolan Grayson as he is known to his family and Earth, has a very interesting story where he is both a hero and a villain on many occasions, and sometimes at the same time. He was born on the planet Viltrum, home of the species known as the Viltrumites. Although it's not something that is revealed very early on, he is actually royalty, the son of a former Viltrumite ruler, prior to his assassination, and for most of his life actually has this fact hidden from him and others to keep him safe from the enemies of the Viltrumite throne. All Viltrumites, including Omni-Man, possess impressive abilities. They have superhuman strength with an upper limit that is unknown as of yet, with Omni-Man himself able to lift above 100 tons. They possess superhuman speed, stamina, and endurance, able to move many times faster, run out of energy significantly slower, and survive damage from incredible sources than any other human. This durability is present in their skin and muscles as well, with only those of similar Viltrumite strength possessing the ability to puncture the skin and possibly harming another Viltrumite. When they are harmed, however, they quickly heal, and most damage that would normally kill a human is only a minor inconvenience for Viltrumites. They also have the natural ability of flight due to a complex balancing system in their inner ears, which is important, so remember it for later. They can also hold their breath for up to 2 weeks due to an increased lung capacity. Both of these are important because Viltrumites are also interstellar travelers, who go to many other planets to seek to involve themselves in the dealings of lesser species. While amongst other species, they usually breed with a member of that species, displaying their superior genetics, as the features and powers can be passed on to their children. But they're not entirely invulnerable, as their one big weakness is their ears. Their inner ear, if disturbed by certain frequencies and the strength of said frequencies, can cause extreme pain and possibly even kill them. Which is good information to know, because if you faced off against Omni-Man even with powers, and even if you did get a few good blows in, you really don't stand a chance, so having this knowledge would really make the difference. Omni-Man himself came to the Earth in the 1980s, claiming to bring technological advancement and to protect Earth from extraterrestrial threats. At least that is what he told the government, the Guardians of the Globe, his wife Debbie, and his son Mark. But in reality, he was a soldier and infiltrator for the Viltrumite Empire, serving the current leader, Thrag. For many, many years, the Viltrumites used their strength and abilities to conquer the galaxy, spreading their influence and iron will upon those who they sought to conquer. And for many years, due to their long lives, they had an expansive empire, until a virus decimated the population down to only 50 remaining members of this warlike race. It was at this point that they adopted a new strategy that Omni-Man himself would utilize, and that plan was to infiltrate and weaken a society from the inside so that the target world lets down their defenses for the Viltrumite conquest. When Nolan originally came to Earth, one of the first things he did was fight an alien tentacle monster, which caught the attention of a government agent, Cecil Stedman. Cecil helped Nolan get his bearings on Earth, introducing Nolan to the culture and introducing the world to Omni-Man. During these first few years, he marries Debbie, takes up the secret identity of Nolan Grayson, and becomes a best-selling author and superhero. But, as we said before, he lied to many about his true cause as an advanced scout, even to his wife and son. Over time, he placed himself amongst the most powerful of Earth's heroes, and eventually joined the Guardians of the Globe, this Earth's version of a Justice League. But shortly after his son Mark discovers his powers and becomes the hero Invincible, Omni-Man decides that it's time to put his plans into motion. He uses his position in the Guardians to call them home and proceeds to slaughter every last one of them. This is where the first episode of the series ends in a bloody mess, and Omni-Man in the middle of it. Although for a little bit longer he is still able to keep his true intentions secret from the world, although he did attempt to tell his half-Viltrumite son, but was unable to, getting frustrated with himself in the process. But the Immortal, one of the Guardians Omni-Man killed, was brought back to life, since all it took was reattaching his head to his body. He faced off against Omni-Man, confronting him for killing the Guardians. And in response to this questioning and attack, Omni-Man reveals his true Viltrumite origins, and soon after kills the Immortal once again. This time though, Mark was present to see all of this, and Nolan decided that it was time to come clean to his son and asked him to help him take over the world. but in true hero fashion, Mark declines. This is followed with a fight between father and son that kills thousands. Omni-Man taunts Mark, telling him he'll live far longer than any of his friends or family, saying that he didn't even love Debbie, his wife, and that she was really only a means to an end, and does all of this to try and prove to his son that the only thing that matters is being in the service of the Viltrumite Empire, and tries to show himself off as a true sociopath. But as they fight, Nolan asks Mark why he's fighting for Earth and what will he have in thousands of years to fight for, to which Mark responds that he will still have his father. This changes something in Omni-Man, as he realizes he loves his son and decides to spare him and the Earth, leaving it crying at the revelation of his son's love. There's a lot more to Omni-Man's story after this, and a lot of this, or a version of it, is what we will likely see in the first season on Amazon, and possibly even in future seasons. After his failed conquest of Earth, the time that follows he would end up on another planet with a lot simpler species to take over known as the Thraxans. This mantis-like alien have the oldest among them rule, as they themselves only live about 9 months, so Nolan took up the title of their ruler and had a son with one of their species. But Nolan's time on Earth changed him, and he no longer actually sought conquest for the Viltrumite Empire, and even showed love for his new son, protecting him from the other Thraxans who say his purple skin was a deformity. Eventually his other son Mark is brought to the Thraxan homeworld at Omni-Man's request, to which they do make amends and Mark asks him to return to Earth. But Omni-Man is not ready, as he still feels that what he has done there cannot be repaired. But the reason Mark was brought to Thraxan is soon revealed, as Omni-Man needs Invincible's help to defend the world from other Viltrumites. After this fight, he is arrested and makes an ally with a former enemy, Alan the Alien, who really only fought him because Alan was a member of the Coalition of Planets, the primary enemy of the Viltrumite Empire. They both team up with each other, escape from the prison, gather up Nolan's sons, and fought the remaining members of the Viltrumite race. In the ensuing war, they dethrone the current emperor of the Viltrumite race, Thrag, and reveal that Omni-Man is the true ruler, turning the rest of the Viltrumites against Thrag, despite Thrag himself having the upper hand on Omni-Man. Omni-Man takes the remaining Viltrumites and hides them amongst the humans on Earth, and tries to start a new era of peace amongst his people. He tries to change their warlike, conquering traditions, and tries to change his relationship with the people of Earth and the galaxy, and even tries to make amends for all that he did. But even then, he was still resented by much of the galaxy. Omni-Man and Invincible is an interesting take on superpowered aliens and the line between superhero and villain. He is a false hero for most of his life, giving many people of Earth false hope. But after realizing he could actually love someone because of his son Mark, he tries to change his villainous ways and realizes that not only his flaws but the flaws of his people need to change. But ultimately, he could only do so much because the damage had already been done. So it's interesting to see just how they're going to do this in the Amazon series. So if you want to know more about Omni-Man and Invincible, go check out the Amazon series. There's 5 episodes at the moment, and unfortunately, because you watched this video, I've already spoiled the end of episode 1. But I did warn you. Thank you so much for joining us today in another universe. What do you think of Omni-Man, and do you like his origin and story? If you've seen the show, what do you think? And if you haven't, are you going to check it out? As always, let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and then please like this video and subscribe to the Marvelous Wave to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.